Your Royal Highness, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to be the first to welcome you today to Elevator and to this latest Pitch at the Palace on tour. I'm Graham Morgan, I'm Deputy CEO of Elevator. So we were delighted last year when His Royal Highness came to visit us and spent some time, more than 2.5 hours as it turned out, meeting a number of our founders from our accelerator program and engaging with a number of other Elevator clients with whom we regularly engage. So some of those are pitching today, and so you might recognise a few faces that you got to see last year. So we were doubly delighted, therefore, to be asked to host today's event, Pitch at the Palace on Tour, and to make our contribution to this successful and hugely impactful national initiative. For those who've travelled from further afield and who therefore might not be familiar with Elevator and what we do, I was keen to take a moment just to underscore a few of the things that define our reasons for being here. So we are essentially an entrepreneurial support organisation. That's what we do. We're a private company, a social enterprise, and we look to reinvest every pound we generate back into the local economy, to encourage the creation of new businesses and to support the growth of others. Last year we supported some 3,000 entrepreneurs from this site, of whom 1,300 were new starts. We also work in Tayside with offices across that region, and we supported a further 1,000 entrepreneurs to start a business in Tayside. So I'd also like to mention very briefly a new initiative we've just launched up here in conjunction with Robert Gordon University, Aberdeen University and North of Scotland College. We announced it for the first time at our Elevator Awards last Thursday, and Gary McEwen, our CEO, is going to talk to you a little bit more about that in a second. So you can see our daily lives are all about entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial spirit. That's what we're all about. We constantly seek new ways to inspire and catalyse new business activity. Another reason we're so pleased to be here today hosting this event. It would be true to say that historically, much of what we do involves us connecting with young people. That's not particularly by design. It's more a reflection of the people who find us and want to engage with us. However, over the last 7 weeks, we've been somewhat addressing the other end of the generational spread through a program called Grey Matter. Some of you might have heard about it. So this was developed and run by Elevator in conjunction with Scottish Enterprise. And what we've done for that program is recruit a cohort of senior ex-oil and gas professionals, people who've been made redundant from the sector over the last couple of years. So these people, there are 22 of them, come with a collective range of expertise and experience that is very valuable and unsurpassable in many respects. So they have a corporate background. They're not people that you would readily identify as entrepreneurs. But the outcome of the program, we're 7 weeks into it, is hugely impressive. We've got from 22 people, 8 new businesses that have emerged, and some of them are very significant. So we're really hopeful. We think we're onto something really significant with Grey Matters. So I see at the back of the room some excited faces. Some of them we know the people who are going to be presenting to you today. So I won't spend much more time. We'll get on with the real business. I'd like to wish them luck on their journey through the Pitch at the Palace and beyond. And so now I'd like to hand over to Professor Gary McEwen, who's our CEO.
Thank you, Graham. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to His Royal Highness and to the whole Pitch at the Palace team who have travelled up a long way to be with us today. Our guests here, and of course our regional finalists who are all ready to pitch very shortly. As Graham mentioned, Elevator is all about entrepreneurship. It's kind of what we do. It's part of our DNA. For those who don't know, we've actually been supporting entrepreneurs in the North East for over 20 years as an enterprise trust. We only morphed into the elevator that you see here about 2.5 years ago, and so our impact stretches back quite a long way, and the cumulative impact that we've been able to make in the North East economy is highly significant. However, as the North East continues to face the challenges that we do around the oil and gas downturn, we think it's more important now than ever that we make a difference in our region. If ever there was a time to encourage innovation and creativity, then it has to be right now. The North East needs to call on its long and obvious heritage and innovation to reinvent and redefine itself. For some of you, you'll see some portraits just down on the wall there of very well-known North East business people who have made such a huge difference to this area. So we have the raw ingredients. That much is self-evident, because aside from oil and gas, we're amongst definitely the best when it comes to food and drink, including our whisky industry, our agriculture, our tourism, and the recent real growth we're seeing in life sciences and the digital sector. So if you look at the concerted effort that's now going on in innovation and new business creation in the North East, it's starting to look very heartening. There's a growing momentum now in this region as people get behind new opportunities that are emerging here. So we continue to work closely with Opportunity North East, Surrey's new initiative. We've never worked more closely than we are right now with our wonderful educational institutions, with our colleagues at Scottish Enterprise, the newly created Oil and Gas Technology Centre, the Chamber of Commerce and Federation of Small Businesses, and of course our local authorities here, the City and Shire. All of these and others are pulling together in a way that I don't think has ever happened before. So we're very thankful to be living in a current age of collaboration. Serene talks about a renaissance for the North East, and that's a very true description of the drive, ambition and determination that we see here every single day in Elevator. They mentioned a new collaboration we're working on between Elevator, the University of Aberdeen, Robert Gordon University and North East Scotland College. This is a new strategy to really embed entrepreneurship across the education sector. This will see a renewed focus on entrepreneurship across all of these institutions, collaborating so that we can become best of class here in the North, sharing new ideas and knowledge, and culminating in a summer school accelerator here dedicated to entrepreneurial staff and students. So just to add to Graham's comments, we feel the time could not be better for us to be hosting today's Pitch at Palace regional event. We're very proud to have been asked, and we're confident that going forward the Palace will be reverberating with a few more North East accents in the future. So let me add my own good wishes to everyone who's pitching here today, and good luck to all of you. Look forward to meeting you. But in the meantime, perhaps we could have a few words from His Royal Highness.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the start of the rocky road to Pitch 8.0 in November. You may think this is odd that we're starting in July for something that's happening in November, but actually if we don't get started this early, it doesn't give you time to get yourself through the process. I'm going to start with a video just to show you where we are and the story of Pitch.
There is always a moment where a world-changing idea gets the momentum it needs to break free. For entrepreneurs, Pitch at Palace creates that time or that moment. We help hatch world-changing ideas. What began as an idea to see how best to support entrepreneurs is now developing into a global initiative and is a platform dedicated to accelerating and scaling early entrepreneurial businesses. In the 3 years since I founded Pitch at the Palace, we have helped entrepreneurs generate substantial new economic activity, not just in the UK, but in several overseas markets. We and our partners work to help entrepreneurs solve their challenges by bringing them ideas and people who can help unlock the challenges they each face. My ambition is twofold. First, to build access and connectivity for our entrepreneur alumni around the world. And this connectivity is crucial to any business's growth plans. Secondly, to build a network of commercial partners who can materially add value to these businesses through their professional know-how and early intervention. Pitch Global develops our international scale, creating a global platform for entrepreneurs to seek new markets and find new partners and investors. At the same time, reaching self-sustaining growth using the Pitch at Palace global network and our audience. In 2017, Pitch Global events will expand again to take place in China, the UAE and Australia. and return to events in Africa and Latin America. And we continue to develop in the United States. Developing this connectivity will support the growth of all the entrepreneur alumni, building prosperity, creating jobs in and between the entrepreneurs and their markets.
Yo-Yo, who have received partnership with Cafe Nero, Magic Pony, who recently sold to Twitter for $150 million.
Duke Deck raised $3.84 million in a funding round and entered into new partnership. We've helped Just Milk build awareness of their idea and achieve new grant funding. And Drenched, from Pitch at Palace 6.0, they are listed as one of the top 50 disrupted companies and are in discussions with new partners in a number of key new markets. As a startup and now as a scale-up, I'm experiencing some of the same anxieties and emotions that our customers feel. And as our story grows in its ambition, I say to every entrepreneur, each one of you in the audience, and importantly, to our partners, so should your ambition. Each of you can make the difference. Pitch at Palace. It really is your time.
The purpose behind Pitch, as was explained there, was that it started out as a very simple idea and has got slightly more ambitious as time has gone on. But our true core belief is to be able to support and encourage British scaling and starting businesses. We're not able to deal with every single business as you might understand. So we've narrowed the sectors down and we change the sectors each time. And our on-tour events are all about getting out around the United Kingdom to find new and interesting businesses across the UK. We've been to Edinburgh before and we were very encouraged at what we've seen there. We are coming back up here to Aberdeen today, and I'm sure that we will be back in Scotland in the not too distant future. But there are always 3 of them, if not 4, on-tour events that you can apply for around the country, whichever one is, as it were, most convenient to you. The process, I think, has probably been explained by my team to you already, but we go through the on-tour events in order to be able to enhance, first of all, our knowledge, so that we are in a position to be able to add value immediately to those of you that are pitching today. There is a possibility, a certainty that some of you will get straight through to boot camp, but the others who don't get selected today are encouraged to apply and continue the paper application or the internet application, because we are then in a position to be able to put you against the others that weren't selected from the other pitch on tours. Boot camp is effectively the next stage of this. Now, you will forgive me for a moment and explain to you that coming from the armed services, this is what is described as your staff C-check. This is the first time that we get an opportunity to actually see and hear you. Boot camp is where we try to give you at least some sort of workup and training activities. So there are a number of things that you can access whilst at boot camp. And then Pitch at Palace at St James's Palace is what describes as your final inspection. And I make no apology about putting you in St James's Palace, which is red and gold. There's no green. It is all designed to put you and you under pressure. Because if you can perform under pressure in an environment like that, you can perform anywhere and prove conclusively that you are some of the best businesses in the world. After you get selected into the 42, you then become part of a network that has been described as in the global network. We have already gone from phase 1, which is what we are doing today, and phase 2, which is taking it global. Phase 3 is being able to take alumni from both the UK and other countries and move them around so that you can find new partners and new investment and in fact new markets in order to be able to take your businesses overseas. So this is a through life program if we can possibly achieve that over time. So just to give you another short moment, just to give you an idea of what's going to happen once you've got through here, we've got another video to show you, which is what happens at boot camp.
This is a very special occasion in this world-class university to be looking at entrepreneurs who are going to help the future.
Pitch at the Palace is a unique opportunity to showcase your business in front of some of the UK's most established business people.
Most of your businesses that you will see today take no account of international boundaries. And Pitch is about trying to enable entrepreneurs to be able to grow and scale their businesses.
So for me, Pitch at the Palace is just a fantastic use of powerful influence. Between us, we have a network that can touch almost any industry, and we can use that to the good of those startups. And it's mutual, it's good for everybody.
What you put into Pitch is what you get out of Pitch. But when you attend a Pitch event, it's only if you come here and participate do you discover that actually serendipity is part of what it is that this is about.
I think the first thing I'd say to entrepreneurs who are pitching is, first of all, get the story right in your mind. You know, have a few simple bullet points that you're trying to communicate, because you've only got 3 minutes to do it.
3 minutes. Good luck.
1.8 million children in the United Kingdom underperforming in their schools, and I felt absolutely compelled to fix this problem.
In this bag is everything you need to save someone's life.
Our proposal is really a very simple one. As long as you have sunshine and a water source, be it the sea or a contaminated well, you can be water independent.
There are going to be people, not only at a boot camp like this at Nottingham University, but also at the Pitch at the Palace event at St James's, who can materially make a difference to your business.
Using 2 mobile phones, I managed to reach 188 million people on social media in 1 week.
So we're building a generation of digital creators, not just consumers.
We're working to create and democratize technology that enhances the human body. Or in other words, we turn disabilities into superpowers.
We've seen so many entrepreneurs addressing some of the biggest issues, problems, opportunities in the world, from autonomous cars to early childhood education to some of the healthcare issues that we have in our society.
The UK economy needs entrepreneurs. It needs innovation, probably as much today as it's needed in the last 100, 200 years.
My thanks go to the entrepreneurs who have performed brilliantly. So all of you, thank you very much indeed. Two very simple messages I have for you today. One is that every single person in this room can make a difference to the businesses that are pitching. So I ask you, as the audience today, to make a follow-up call or a connection for these businesses. Suddenly something will jog your memory by what is you are being told today, and you'll go, ah! Note it and make sure that you pass that gem on. And the other thing is that to the entrepreneurs who are pitching, be passionate, be interesting, tell your story, but at the end of the day, you have to have an ask. On this occasion, it's the ask of this audience. But remember that the next one is at boot camp, which is a different type of ask, because there they are, as it were, the workup crew, and they are there professionally to help you. So think about what it is that you want to get across today and the message that you need this audience to hear, and they will respond. Lastly, I'm not a judge, I'm a referee, because somebody has to referee the judges, but I do not get involved in judging, so don't blame me. However, it doesn't make any difference what happens. I'm always the one that gets asked to do something. So we are already going to do something, but it does make it a lot easier if you do tell us. So we're off. Let's get this going. Audience, you can make the difference. Entrepreneurs, good luck. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Can I first extend our thanks to His Royal Highness for presenting what this is all about today, and also to Gary and his team at Elevator for giving us the opportunity to use such a fantastic facility. My name. We need more and more of these kinds of businesses, new people to start them, to come forward. But today is not about that and about me, it is very much about our participants. But before I do that, I want to make sure you all know a couple of things that are going to make this one of the most exciting events we've had on entrepreneurship in the Northeast for a while. First, if you turn over your badges, you will see all the handles for tweeting, putting messages out there. Very important that we get the messages out, both to support the businesses that you like, but also to support the event. So please feel free to do that, to tweet as you will. Now there are some aids to help you a little bit later on at the back. Yeah? So you can go and take a picture with some of the key teams that you like, use these and get the message out there about what we're doing. The next thing a little bit later on, at the end of the pitches, you'll be asked to vote and to contribute. I'm also not a judge, which is great, because I now have something in common with His Royal Highness. I'm not a judge either, so don't ask me for any advice. But you're also going to influence the judges by your voting. To do that, you need to download the app. And if we can just show the slide, is that okay? There we go. The app is in the App Store. It's called Pitch at the Palace. That's the app. When you download it, it's very, very straightforward to use. You'll be able to identify the right pitch. We're in Aberdeen. You'll be able to select the entrepreneurs, and then you'll be able to choose which one you wish to vote for. It's straightforward, and we'll run through it again at the end, but just in case any of you want to get downloading the app straight away. Okay, before we start the formal pitching, what I'd like to do is invite two of the previous successful Pitch at the Palace presenters to come up, and I'm just going to find out a little bit from each of them how they got on and what they would say is the most valuable thing they've learned. So can I invite the two previous people to come on up and join me for a few minutes on stage? And that's Eleanor and Gordon. Eleanor with Biogelics and Gordon is with Spot Sensor Technologies. Thanks, guys. I mean, I'm sure the people waiting to pitch are wondering, you know, they're sitting there, they're a bit nervous. If they're not, they should be. Yeah? They're a bit nervous. But what I'd like you to share with them is what you got from the programme, how it's helped you, what you would say the most valuable thing is. Can we start with Eleanor? Eleanor, do you want to come and use the mic?
Thank you. Yeah, I would say there were sort of three key things for me. The biggest help for us was the network. When we actually got to pitch at the Palace, a bunch of people reached out to you afterwards saying, for the stage our company's at, we'll be looking to do a rather big fundraise, probably beginning of next year. So for us to have that sort of list of people we can go back to, and again, because they're so closely connected, to the Duke of York, where we know that they are solid contacts that we know we can use as sort of kudos of having taken part in Pitch at Palace to go back to. There was a sort of element of mentoring as well when we got through to the boot camp. So again, even if you don't quite make the final, the boot camp itself is highly valuable. You get a mentor that you get to talk to. I had someone that was sort of leading R&D for Johnson & Johnson, a big target for us is Big Pharma. So massively useful in terms of understanding sort of dynamics of our potential end users and customers. And also just finally the pitch, you know, you're constantly refining your business. You have to rethink what your business offers because it matures and develops very quickly. So refining that pitch for the real deal when you're asking people for money and speaking to investors, I'd say that was really useful in terms of being in that intimidating atmosphere and that sort of thing. But you have fun with it, and it's highly valuable in that sense. So yeah, it's definitely network, element of mentoring, and also the pitch itself is highly valuable.
Thank you, Alan. So, Gordon, did you see this similar things, or is there something you want to add, something different? What about your own business?
Yeah, I think from our point of view, there was a few things that were really valuable as well. First of all, the experience was fantastic fun. You know, even the pitch was actually quite good fun. So for those pitching, you know, just enjoy it. The big thing to start with, though, was when we got through to the boot camp. The boot camp was intensely practical and hugely important for us because it taught you some skills in terms of presenting your business and also putting forward your message, which are really useful not just for the pitch and the palace, but for the day-to-day. What I would do, though, is I would echo what Eleanor was saying about the network, because after the boot camp and after St James's Palace, it was not the end of the process, it was actually only the beginning. And subsequent to those events, we've been put in touch with a number of people in the UK who've actually helped us take forward our business development, but most importantly have become clients of ours. So they've been hugely beneficial. The most important thing, though, since we were involved in it in 2015, which is when we started on through 2016, is this year we've picked up on the initiative which is about making the Pitch and the Palace more global. And we've been privileged to get introductions to businesses that we would never have got access to in China. And we have begun to undertake projects which we would never have dreamed of a couple of years ago, which are around Chinese cities. So, you know, Pitch and the Palace for us has been a fantastic practical experience. It's been brilliant in the UK, and most importantly, it's been a brilliant platform for international work.
Thank you, Gordon. So the things I picked up there that are really valuable for those pitching: the mentoring, the networking, the ability to refine your pitch, and the ability to find key clients. Now, Gordon and Eleanor are going to be around all day today with you guys, so do take time to find out a little bit more about their businesses, either over lunchtime or during the networking session, and I'm sure they would value that input. Now, before they go, I'm going to be mean and ask them one more thing. I'd like each of them to give another additional piece of advice to the people who are pitching today. So, Eleanor, what would your advice be?
The first 10 seconds is going to be horrible, but then the adrenaline will calm down and just have fun with it. Nobody knows your business like you do, so you can tell the story.
So, just start at the 20-second mark, you'll be cool. All right, so thanks, Eleanor. Great advice there. And Gordon?
I don't think there's any other advice than just to relax and enjoy the day.
Yeah, and Gordon already said earlier, have fun. And it really is, guys, a chance to have fun. It doesn't matter if it goes badly wrong, because we always learn from mistakes, and that's entrepreneurship. So without further ado, can we thank our two alumni? Thank you for sharing. And on that note, I think, everyone, we are about ready to get our first pitches moving. And we've got a number to get through this morning. Let me just explain roughly what will happen again, so you're all familiar. Each pitcher, each team is going to have a 3-minute slot once we start them. After 3 minutes, we get a rather loud foghorn sound. Can we just sound it, just in case anybody thinks it's their phone going on? Oh, yeah, okay, right, so if you hear that, it's not a fire alarm, it's not your phone, don't worry, that means they must stop then. They may get a little tiny bit over, but we'll get them off if not. So guys, you've got 3 minutes when you hear that sound. After that, I will just kind of ask one question to kind of tease out a bit more information if we need to, and then we'll move on to the next. We will do the voting at the end, and I'll remind you about the process and the app at that point. So, can we get the first team up, please? And that is Wallet Services, and it's Iona Murray. Please, are you here, Iona? Okay, well, I'm going to move out of the way and leave you to have the stage. Okay?
Hi, my name's Iona Murray and I'm the marketing lead for Wallet Services. So, why is it that digital life is still so complex? It's because it relies on collaboration between citizens, business and government, which is difficult as this normally involves sensitive information. For example, I recently rented my first flat. This involved a lot of different parties, including government agencies, such as the local council. There were various banks involved, the letting agent and of course the landlord himself. But these agencies, or these parties, weren't connected, so I repeatedly had to fill in different web forms with the same information. The whole process took ages, and I had to send a lot of personal information over email, including bank statements, so it was insecure as well. Surely there's a more efficient and more secure way of managing these everyday processes. There is. It's with blockchain. Blockchain is a pivotal technology as it can transform collaboration. Like when the printing press was invented, information spread more rapidly and accurately than before. Books cemented ideas, and you couldn't edit the content, or if you did, others had the original copies. Fast forward to the internet, and information travels at light speed. But data is centralised and changeable, so it can be corrupted. You just have to look at instances of fake news and cybercrime to come to the conclusion that the internet has no integrity. Blockchains bring integrity to the internet, like a digital-first printing press stamping out provable records. Blockchains are basically a shared databases with security and trust built in. So Wallet Services' solution is Sicker. Sicker is Old Scots for sure and trusted. It uses a blockchain network to let citizens, business and government share securely to deliver streamlined public services. Sicker has been applied to licence application and approval in government. That's anything from an airgun licence to renting a flat. Each party involved provides a piece of the application to create a complete picture. Throughout the process, the information is stored cyber-securely and only revealed to those authorised to view it. Sicker means that citizens control their own information and it remains consistent and updated. Permits and approvals are provably valid and can be checked without exposing sensitive information. And government is compliant with regulations and its agencies are connected, saving time and valuable public money. So Wallet Services won the Scottish Government's CivTech Cyber Security Challenge, and we're a finalist in the Global Citibank Tech for Integrity Challenge, which aims to reduce corruption in government. Sicker has the potential to transform public sectors globally, and we're here to use Pitch at the Palace to take our solution to the world. Digital life just got simpler. Thank you.
That has set the band on the bell. Okay, so I'm just going to ask Iona one question. I've learned since last week an awful lot about blockchain. I always thought it was to do with kind of Lego and stuff like that, but apparently it's not. What I want to know about is where would you start? Which part of all these government services would you start? You mentioned air rifles, you mentioned driving. Where would you start?
So we recognise a pattern in public services that we can use blockchain for, and we're currently looking for a pilot, probably in Scottish Government, to prove that blockchain can transform public services. For instance, Young Scot said that the main complaint they get from young people is that they have to prove they're over 18 and also give away their name and address and date of birth. So Sicker could be used, and that could be a starting point. Sicker could be used in these instances to prove your age. It's something that's close to my heart. Prove your age without giving away a lot of your information.
Thank you. Can we thank Iona? first is always a challenge because you have to be remembered. So please, if you like what Iona was talking to you about, make a note of it, and then remember you can vote for it later on. So now, next up, under a new materials heading, is intelligent gels. And we've got Matt Wilson and John Fife. Are you Matt or John? You're Matt. Matt, come on up, please. And you can tell us a bit more about how you're using this technology to develop your own business idea. Thank you, Matt.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt Wilson from Intelligent Gels, based here in Aberdeen. Well, you might be thinking, what is an intelligent gel? Well, we've created a new, innovative new product which we believe can define a new era in drinking water pipeline cleaning and thus improve the drinking water quality. The gel itself works by capturing and cleaning and removing the iron and manganese particles in the drinking water pipelines themselves. For example, in the UK there are 77,000 kilometres of cast iron pipework which serves millions of customers. However, this leads to approximately 60,000 customer complaints each year, and the compensation from that runs into tens of millions of pounds. The mucky brown water you get out of the tap from time to time is caused by these iron and manganese particles. Imagine the costs if you had to reline or reinstate or relay these pipelines across the UK. The cost is phenomenal. So for the foreseeable future, cleaning is a necessity. So what happens now? Well, currently the problem is addressed by flushing. That in itself, its nature means that there is a lot of where you use a significant amount of water and thus not environmentally sound. Gels have been around for 25 years in the oil and gas industry, and with our experience, we've an innovative drive. We wanted to create new products, and therefore we wanted to transfer oil and gas technology into the water sector. The gel itself can clean, capture and remove the particles, as I've mentioned, leaving the pipeline cleaner using less water and ultimately improving water quality. What makes the gel unique? Well, the gel not only removes the particles but it's biodegradable, so it's easily disposed of. The gel is applied using existing infrastructure and uses the water at source, which again means that it's efficient. We've also developed a number of other gels to tackle other known sector issues, such as disinfection or removing blockages in sewers. These products are application ready, and given our belief in the capabilities of the products, our R&D has been self-funded. The water companies have a big problem and they require a solution right now, and we believe our product delivers the answer. The size of the UK market is well documented and even bigger overseas. The water companies have huge financial drivers in order to comply with drinking water regulation. In Scotland alone, they plan to spend over 300 million in the next 5 years improving the network in order to supply clean material. What we want from today is financial backing to upscale and thus prove that to the sector that this is a viable, environmentally safe, sustainable solution. Establish relationships with partners that can then deliver this to the network. Thank you.
I've got one fascinating question, but Matt might not be able to tell us. I'd be really interested to know what's kind of in these gels, and if we all agreed to sign a non-disclosure. Are you happy to share a little bit without giving the game away?
They are based around natural polymers, so therefore we've spent many years in R&D developing the product so that it basically hopefully doesn't come out of the tap on the, after it's been used throughout the system. Flushing generally creates this brown water that you have to run your tap for. By the nature of the matrix of the gel product, it basically cleans it and pushes it out, so there's nothing behind.
Brilliant. So it's kind of biodegradable and everything, and safe and brilliant.
Natural, yeah.
Fantastic. Can we thank Matt again? Thank you. So we're now moving to a kind of theme around, got a couple of presenters around supply chain. Could I ask the first team to come up, which is Kipich, and it's Maria, please. Maria, come on. Welcome to the stage. Thank you, Maria. You've got 3 minutes, and when you're ready with us to tell us all about your ideas. Thank you.
Sure. I'd like to make a little survey from the start. How many of you got here by car? By train? Anybody plane? Yes. Anybody by boat? So as you can see, not so many of us take boats any longer. But as a matter of fact, 90% of the world's economy travels by sea. This means that the majority of the things we use come from places like Asia. And if 90% of the world economy comes by sea, that means that 90% of manufacturers also use trading solutions like finance to be able to bring things to you and make things happen. That is what the supply chain is all about. So ships, they do release CO2 to the environment, and they do so in quite a large amount, 3%. If the shipping industry was a country, it will actually account for as much as being the 6th country in the world in terms of pollution to the environment. So we believe that there must be a way to reconcile business interests with the business of making the planet healthy. So we see this challenge a little bit like a layer cake, in which we have the base, which is helping companies to be able to optimize operations, delivering goods in a more effective way, sooner saving money with their ship operations. We see the jam as being the trade financing issues, because believe it or not, at the center of the world economy, there is a document called the Bill of Landing, which is based on paper. So we are running the majority of the world economy on paper, and I think we can do much better in order to be able to recharge how the world moves about. So the cream of this cake is really how we can help the environment. If we're able to optimize these processes and make things much more efficient and share trips, perhaps we can help the environment too. Our solution is Baelo, which is a platform that also works on the blockchain, providing auditability, visibility, providing the basis for a real sharing economy, because the companies that we work with, they have assets. So they can really optimize the things they do. We at Kipitech believe in collaboration, so we're working with organizations here in Scotland, such as Opportunity Northeast, with innovation agencies, with universities, and our ask is around asking the community to help us to get to the places where we can make a difference, the big ports around the world, such as Singapore, such as Rotterdam, and support us in this mission to be able to create a finance platform, a peer-to-peer platform like Baelo, in which we can really make a lot of good as well as making good financial sense. So thanks for listening.
Thank you, Maria. I've got my question is all about where you start. I mean, there's a lot of traffic goes throughout the oceans around the world. Where do you start? Which is the area of marine traffic you are focusing on as your sort of entry into this market?
Sure. So we're very lucky because we had the support of the community here in Aberdeen, and we're actually starting out there in the North Sea, making some tests with supply boats. So that is a good place to start.
Okay, so thank you again, and final round of applause. Thank you very much. So we're on to our second presenter under the supply chain theme. This presenter is working around a concept to do with gin, and it's called the Gin Room, and it's Jane. So Jane, please come up, and you're welcome. Tell us all about gin and the Gin Room. Thank you.
A confused mind never buys, and a confusing website never truly sells. My name is Jane Carmichael-Norrie, and I'm the director of the Gin Room. We are an online marketplace, a bit like Etsy, but for the gin industry. There are websites that sell gin at the moment, but they're slow, clunky, and confusing. UK gin sales are worth over £1 billion, and that figure is expected to rise by 15% year on year until 2020. But less than 1% of that figure is from online sales. Why are people buying so many products online, but not gin? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been out with my clipboard and I've been asking gin fans all about this. There's a clear disconnect between the huge desire to buy gin and the current online market offering. Amazon and supermarkets, they offer a lot of choices with mainstream brands, but they don't offer any comparison, they don't offer any guidance. There are gin makers that have their own little web store, but very limited in choice. Our solution is to have a platform that gives the search criteria that gin fans really want, the most popular being location, flavour profile, recommended serve, and botanicals. A platform where it's simple to buy, but it's also simple to try. A lot of gin makers, when they first start out, they can't create miniatures because the cost of the bottles is prohibitively expensive for them. We have 35 gin makers from across Scotland that have agreed in principle to increase their market share. We will be the world's first specialist in Scottish gin, a drop-shipping business model that offers high-quality products. Our collaboration with Glasgow Caledonian University will offer a crowd-powered algorithm on our website which updates the flavour profile of our products in real time using anonymised customer data which we collect through our network of meetups for gin room events and festivals. The future of e-commerce is in the offline community supporting the online community and vice versa. Why is now the right time? Well, as you may know, ladies and gentlemen, there's a huge increase in gin sales. Independent organisations Scottish Food and Drink have committed to increasing the food and drink sector up to £30 billion by 2030. And with Brexit coming soon, Scottish gin being a huge category, a 50% increase in the number of producers this year alone, it'd be a good time to have a one-stop shop showcasing the very best in Scottish gin and soft drinks. How are we positioned? Over 12,000 people in our online community, over 700 in our offline community. We've positioned ourselves as an expert on Scottish gin with collaborations with Visit Scotland and Scotland Food and Drink. Your Royal Highness and ladies and gentlemen, you may know someone that likes gin, so I would like your assistance with making the gin room happen. Thank you.
Can we thank Jane? I've got two questions for Jane. Do you like gin? And the reality there is if you're an entrepreneur being passionate about your product, doesn't matter whether it's gin or whatever matters. So the second one is you introduced some really clever terminology in a minute about a drop something business model. What was that? Can you tell us a little bit about your business model and what you meant by that? Thank you.
The marketplace as it stands, gin makers find it very difficult to get the product out there. They're working with distribution companies, so they have to sell their product. It really affects their cash flow. It can take them up to 3 months to get the sales from the products. It's on a sale or return basis, so they might not necessarily sell their product anyway. With the gin room being a drop shipping business model, it saves them hours in admin, but it also means that their products only leave their warehouse when it's sold. It's a lot easier for them to compete in our increasing marketplace and give an opportunity for the little guys.
Thank you. So we've heard from the supply chain guys. Now we're on to hear what's loosely called the other category. This means lots of different kinds of business ideas that didn't necessarily fall into one of the previous categories. First up is, well, it's either Michael or Jamie, and they're from Barbersmith. So, well, you're both here. Okay, excellent.
The other guys.
Okay, come on up, guys. And you're going to talk to us about the Barbersmith. Thank you.
I'm sick of having bad hair days. Booking an appointment at a barbershop can often be a difficult process. You might not get the time you want. Furthermore, travelling to a barbershop is time consuming. Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Michael, and we're the founders of Barbersmith. Barbersmith is an on-demand barber service which allows you to book a barber directly to your home, office, hotel, or maybe palace. There's no cash either, as all payments are completed online.
In order to create a behavioural change in the way that men have their hair cut, our barbers will be highly trained professionals. At Barbersmith, we are focused on providing exceptional service with a 5-minute hair consultation at the start of each cut. Through the app, our customers will be able to rate the barbers, offering the consumer more information and more choice about who they book.
Revenue is created through 2 distinct streams. Firstly, a 25% commission from every grooming service completed. This fares well against 30% to rent a chair in a barbershop, so it's an extra 5% in the barber's pocket. Secondary, we have our own range of grooming products sold direct to the consumer through our app.
Our target market is male millennials, of which 8 million currently reside in the UK. Our own research indicates that over 70% of these customers would like to use our service. They are time poor and rely heavily on their smartphones, using them to book anything from a meal to a taxi, so why should booking a haircut be any different? With the male grooming market set to grow to over £1 billion in the UK alone in 2018 and £50 billion globally, we feel there has never been a better time to disrupt what traditionally remains a bricks and mortar business.
Jamie and I have experience building brands, have previously ran an events company for 5 years. We have experience building brands in multiple cities and driving people to these events through the use of social media. We think this is going to be a crucial skill in driving users to our app. Furthermore, we come from an accountancy and marketing background, so we have good skills that align well together. And though we are new to the grooming industry, we feel it's very much marketing driven, given the recent successes of companies such as Dollar Shave Club, which was recently acquired by Unilever for $1 billion, really highlight this.
Operating in the gig economy does come with its challenges, primarily the ever-changing employment laws surrounding digital platforms. We aim to mitigate against this by offering barbers a chance to work more flexibly and earn more money. Furthermore, there's also a risk that barbers might take their customer base offline. We feel this won't happen, as we are creating a community which drives customers towards barbers.
Our service will improve mobility by decreasing the amount of people that use single occupancy car journeys into city centres. Furthermore, we'll encourage barbers to work in their local areas and cycle where possible. We're not just simply trying to change the way that people book haircuts. We have a vision to change the whole delivery of barbering as a service. Our vision is for Barbersmith to be the leading male grooming brand. And we ask the audience... Nothing. And we'd ask the audience if they have any connections within the male grooming industry, or just in the grooming industry, if they could help us out a little bit, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael and Jenny. You had me until you said your target audience was male millennials. Now that's it. You're off my list. I've got a really interesting question. We see a lot of companies who take a really core product like barbering or something like that and then add something else to it, because when we go to the barbers, there's other things we maybe could do or you could sell us. Have you thought about that dimension of your business? Have you thought about what you could build onto your service that we might purchase as well as having a haircut?
Yeah, so that's, as I sort of mentioned, it is a sort of two revenue stream business approach where the grooming service is the one element and then our own range of products we're hoping will actually prove a good revenue stream as well.
Yeah, so the products will be related to the hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'd be like grooming products sold direct to consumer from that. So the barber would say, "Would you like to try this wax?" And then you try it, and then potentially buy.
Brilliant, and you've got the haircuts to go with it. Brilliant. All right, guys, thank you. So next up is Biblio, and we've got Mads Holman to come and talk to us about that. And she's going to be talking a little bit. Oh, it's he, sorry. My apologies. Why did I assume that? Anyway, never mind. Okay, off you go.
I didn't even groom.
No, you didn't. Okay, Matt, take it away, please.
Brilliant. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure to be here in Aberdeen. I'm going to tell you about Biblio. Biblio is a recommendation engine. But the real question is, what is that exactly? Well, think of when you log into Facebook and you look at the news feed, or you log into Netflix, or you go onto Amazon. Their recommendation algorithms help decide what you should see and not see. In fact, more than 80% of the time that's spent on those platforms now comes from recommendations. So we work with our partner websites to basically achieve similar. We put the right content in front of the right user at the right time. Now, recommendations are actually a hard problem, if you think about it. We have to understand how all the different content is related to each other. We have to understand the behavior around each piece of content, and we have to understand that particular user's interest profile, which also changes over time, right? We humans aren't the same all the time. Even if you love club sandwiches, you don't have it 3 times a day, 7 days a week. So actually, humans are really hard to keep happy. Now, we give all websites access to this type of technology. Websites that can't spend hundreds of millions of dollars like Netflix have on this type of problem. And it's delivered via an API, so it's up and running in hours, not in months or years. Because actually this is a really hard technology to build in-house, just like search. In many ways, they're very comparable. So we work with high-quality publishers, libraries, bookstores, and learning platforms. So people like the Open University, New York Public Library, and The Day here in the UK that are the largest school newspaper, so where teachers and students actually interact around current affairs. Now, through those partners, we already help millions of people every day actually find better content. For the first time, we live in a world where there's actually too much stuff, right? So we have to choose, we have to filter. Oh, that's actually a very new problem. Until very recently, we lived in a world where there was not enough information. Now suddenly, due to the explosion of content on the web, there's simply too much. And we need technologies that help us find the right choices for us. Now, when we go live with sites, with a kind of module like this, so you recognize them from the bottom of articles or side panels, etc., we actually sit behind the scene and do the heavy lifting for them. Typically, when we go live, we lift the interaction rates of those modules by more than 100%. So this is really something that makes a difference for the sites. We jokingly say that we help turn sort of casual visitors into regulars. It's all about converting when people come from social media or search into having a better experience. Earlier this year, we raised a seed round of 1.2 million. We're now scaling out the company. We hope to be live on 100 sites by the end of this year, and more than 1,000 sites by the end of next year. So we're Biblio, and we help to make the web a better place, both for users and platforms. Thank you very much.
Fascinating. The whole content thing is massive, and merging it all together and helping us find it is better. Where would you, is there any particular area of content you would start with, any themed area or not?
Well, so we generally work with what we call knowledge content. So I come from a media background. I used to work in online media for many years, and one thing that annoyed me is at the moment, if you go to Facebook as an example, their algorithms purely based on advertising revenue, which means essentially they surface the most sugary content to all of us that they think we want to click on. So essentially we try to work with more nutritious content.
I like that concept of nutritious rather than sugary content.
I think there's an obesity epidemic online as well.
We're not going to go into Google free or whatever. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers. So we've now got Lee, is that right, Lee? And you're from Hydro Energy and Technologies.
Correct.
And you're going to tell us all about the whole hydro domain and how your business is going to change things, hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Royal Highness, distinguished guests, not many people know this, but more than 7.5 million people worldwide are dying prematurely every year as a result of air pollution. In fact, air pollution kills more people per year than malaria, malnutrition, obesity, alcohol and drug abuse combined. In India alone, every single minute, 2 people die because of air pollution. So what's the problem? Energy is the problem. Our insatiable appetite for energy, that invisible force that is powering the modern world. Energy is one of those things that you can't really see, touch, hear or smell, yet you use every single day. Every time you turn on a switch or press a button, you're using some form of energy. The problem is that 90% of the world's energy is sourced from fossil fuels, i.e. coal, oil or gas. Many of the environmental problems the world faces today, including climate change, ocean acidification, droughts, extreme weather, air pollution that's killing over 7.5 million people a year, all of these are a direct result of our dependence on fossil fuels. The burning of fossil fuels is having a devastating effect on the entire ecosystem. So what's the solution? The solution is that we transition to renewables, but the urgency is here and now. The main problem with renewables is that they have failed to outcompete fossil fuels in one shape or another in terms of cost, scalability, and something called power and energy density. This is where we come in. We have developed an extremely disruptive energy system that can help in solving these 4 problems. In fact, it can help solve 2 of the biggest challenges of the 21st century, which is low-cost, clean electrical energy and energy storage. Now, the technology that we are developing harnesses altitude wind using kites, so it's ultimately wind power, and we've combined that with subsea pressure to generate zero carbon emissions electricity more cost effectively than any other power generation technology on the planet. A technology that works today, utilises proven technology, hydroelectric turbines that have existed for over a century, harnesses altitude wind where the wind is stronger, more consistent and more persistent, is a fifth of the price and twice as reliable as conventional offshore wind turbines. A game changer that can even outcompete fossil fuel-based power generation right from the outset. Altitude wind has been identified by people like Bill Gates as the potential miracle to solving the world's energy crisis. Companies like Google X have invested in it. What we have done is found a very simple way to harness it, store it subsea, release it on demand, opening access to offshore deep sea wind today. Ultimately, what's at stake is our very survival. The environmental crisis is bigger than any other threat that humanity has ever faced, and the main cause is fossil fuels. We have a solution today that can help in solving the current crisis. And all I ask you is thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Using the time perfectly there. That was brilliant. Okay, I've got one question for you. Kites that collect wind.
Yes.
You know, how big are these things? My kite's only about that big.
Well, it's about 20 metres by 20 metres, so 400 square metres. The unique, the way there's companies like Google X that have invested. There's only two types of companies that are developing kite technologies. They're trying to convert wind directly to electricity, which already has an efficiency limitation of 35%. We're doing it, it's very disruptive. Our approach is completely different. We're actually storing the energy subsea through a buoyancy system, and we're using hydroelectric turbines.
Right.
So we're storing it subsea, and we've got a kite mechanism that we use, but we don't convert wind to electric, which is very different from everyone else.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you very much.
So 2 to go, and the next one up is QPAL, and it's Craig. Craig, welcome to the stage. And Craig's going to talk to us about various mobile payment systems.
Data is to the 21st century what oil was to the last, a driver of growth, disruption and insight. I'm Craig Bucking, the founder and CEO of QPAL, and we have the vision to become the leading global provider of mobile payment solutions and big data insights to the live events industry. Last summer at Glastonbury Music Festival, I spent what felt like an eternity, standing, waiting in line to be served an ice cold drink. And it turns out you and I spend over a year of our lives queuing. Annually, 1 billion live event attendees across the globe with disposable income and the desire to have a great event experience are faced with problems when trying to buy food and drink. Just think of the massive lost revenue, time and reputational damage for the event organisers every show. QPAL is here to solve that problem though. Our fintech offering sees a mobile app synchronised with contactless point-of-sale technology to deliver a cashless event experience. In return, we'll help enhance event revenues by up to 60%, reduce service time by a third, and disrupt the industry with our real-time mobile engagement platform. We're rolling out the software later this year in Dubai at the Ed Sheeran, Elton John and Jennifer Lopez concerts, and this will act as a real catalyst for growth over the next 12 to 18 months. We're massively excited about the fintech movement in Dubai, and last month secured a place at the lucrative IN5 Innovation Centre, and this will act as a major springboard to investors' networks and growth within the country. We're moving over to Dubai in August after 5 successful development trips this year. But the message is clear. Yes, commercially our opportunities to scale and grow are in Dubai, but the technology will continue to be built in Scotland with our partners. Our business model is pretty straightforward. We operate a software licensing, data insights and digital advertising model, and we'll hope to generate revenues by £50 million by 2021. QPAL stands strong in the live event space. And what differs us significantly from the likes of Visa, Apple Pay and existing event offerings is our artificial intelligence and real-time mobile engagement capabilities. We enhance live event experiences by harnessing demographic purchasing data and converting it into insight. And our real-time mobile engagement platform is unique to the industry and will see us deliver brand engagement, loyalty rewards and promotions via the QPAL app from well-known firms such as Heineken, Ticketmaster and Uber. QPAL is actively raising a pre-Series A round of £75,000 right now to grow the team further to support the commercial opportunities in Dubai. We'd love to speak to any interested parties who want to understand the underlying tech and feel they can bring expertise as well as cash to the QPAL party. So I ask you all to join QPAL as we disrupt the global industry and become a leader in our technology field. I've been Craig Buchan, and this is QPAL, built in Scotland and scaling up from Dubai. Thank you.
Very fascinating. You know, standing in queues, not doing anything, either moving people quickly or allowing them to do other activities when they're in those queues is fantastic. I think one other thing I would encourage you to think about, and I'm sure you're already there, is the whole safety dimension to these big events, because there's big issues there, as we know. So fantastic. My question, why are you finding it necessary to be working out with Scotland to get this thing moving? Why is it not happening here, tea in the park, all those kind of things?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a risk profile element there. You know, we've got the opportunity to roll out big live events, as I mentioned, in Dubai, and that race to be second was what we're coming up against in the UK. We're speaking to Lights O2 Academy Group, O2 Arena, because they like the concept, they see the value add massively on the data insights piece, but just really that risk averse nature. Whereas, you know, we're a technology company, and if you can't plug a technology solution into another environment, i.e. another country, then you're doing something wrong with the stack. So we've got the opportunity in Dubai to do that. So.
Brilliant. Well, all the best with that, and hopefully we'll get you back here doing some stuff in Scotland. Thank you. That takes us on to the last pitch, but not least. Yeah, it's RAB microfluids, and it's Rutin. Is that right? Rutin. Rutin, you're going to tell us all about your microfluids and what you're up to with that. Thank you.
Good afternoon all. My name is Dr. Rotimi Alabi, founder and managing director of RAB Microfluidics. I want you all to imagine you spend £10 million on a machine, a beverage processing plant, for example. You want to know that this machine is running well and is running efficiently, but more importantly, you want to know when this machine will break down so that you can plan maintenance. At the moment, there is no easy way for you to find out when this machine will break down. It is an expensive luxury. One way for you to find out when this machine will break down is to take a sample of oil that lubricates this machinery to a commercial laboratory to get crucial machine health information, usually at a huge monetary expense and the risk that the machine will break down before the results come back. Industrial businesses lost £2.1 billion last year alone on uninsurable downtimes and breakdowns due to this inefficient process, in addition to spending £2 billion to diagnose potential failure early. Having identified these pain points and this huge unmet need, we have developed a solution. This. We have compacted the entirety of a commercial laboratory into a slim, elegant device. I call it a lab on a chip. This device brings the laboratory to your machinery and allows you to monitor the health of your machine 1,000 times faster and 10 times cheaper than commercial laboratories or existing oil condition monitoring techniques. By permitting point of need measurements, this device enables the real-time continuous testing and analysis of petroleum fluids, meaning you can diagnose potential machine failure way in advance so you can plan maintenance or intervention. The benefits are numerous. Cost savings, enhanced efficiency, better understanding of machine performance and machine availability are only but a few. The RAB Microfluidics offering is simple, transitioning businesses from reactive to predictive maintenance strategies. Our customers are any business that carry out the testing and analysis of petroleum fleets, operates a heavy machinery, or run an oil condition monitoring program. So businesses in oil and gas, aerospace and defense, processing and manufacturing, power generation, maritime, amongst others. The potential of this technology to fully immerse companies in the reality of the value of predictive maintenance is what we're trying to achieve here. And we have companies like Siemens, Magna International, McLaren Technologies, and Northstar Shipping already signed up for field trials. We project a £6 million revenue from just these 4 companies by year 3. Nevertheless, we require a chairman or woman to join our team to take this technology to the market and help us achieve our ambition of having this technology on every new and existing heavy machinery in the world. Now, where else is best to start such a conversation than here with you? Thank you.
So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. Who's up for the challenge? Yeah? Yeah, get your CVs ready. If you were looking at the CVs, they're pretty good, all of them. Yeah? If you were looking at their CVs, what would you want to see on their CV to help you here?
I want to see industry experience in terms of taking technology from the stage we are in, just TRL4, to the market. That is one thing I want to see. And someone that actually has grey hair or knee hair, as they say.
I think on that note, we'll thank our team for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've heard from some fantastic companies. I'm just going to remind you very briefly. I grew up listening to things like Blind Date and Cilla Black, and I think it's very important you hear back who was there, just very briefly. If that was lost on you, don't worry. Okay. Then what you are going to do is you're going to download the app, and we've got 3 minutes. Is that right? We've got 3 minutes and a minute to vote. So very, very quickly, I'm going to remind you who we saw. I'll probably get the absolute detail wrong, but at least we'll remind you. So first up, we saw Iona with wallet services. And that was looking at blockchain and how we improve security for government processes. Next, we heard from Matt and John from Intelligent Gels, and that was what you could put down the pipe to clean up the water to make it more palatable, for example. Then we heard from TipTech, which was all about using blockchain again to look at how we improve the way we manage marine traffic and the goods that travel with them. Then we heard from the gin room, and that was all about how we connect gin manufacturers together across Scotland and develop them as a network so they can hopefully do for Scottish gin and the rest of the world what whiskey's done for us as well. Then we heard from Jamie and Michael in relation to Barber's Smith, and that was all about how we can make that a much more enjoyable and easy and efficient service for us out there, as long as you're a millennial, was it? Yeah, remember that? Biblio was all about connecting the internet, the content on the internet, and making it much more useful for us, less advertising driven in terms of what we get to see. We then had hydro energy and technologies leaking, talking about different ways of harnessing power that can replace oil and gas, and that was in relation to high flying kites, etc., to help us do that, as well as other things. We then had QPAL, which was Craig and his team, and they were looking at a mobile payment system, amongst other things, for use in events like festivals and elsewhere where we might have to queue. And finally, we had Brad Microfluids and Routine talking about a technology for doing this analysis on a very tiny chip and also searching for a new chairperson. That's them. Okay, if we could bring the screen back, I'll remind you about the app. Is that okay? And it's your time to vote. So hopefully you managed to download the app, and basically you'll need to look for the right event. If you're not sure where you are, you're in Aberdeen. You are then going to look for the entrepreneurs, and then you are going to see the names, and you can choose which ones you wish to vote for. And if you want to find out a little bit of a refresher about each of them, there's some information on the last screen there, and then you get to cast your vote. And I believe we have 3 minutes, starting February. I see people still tapping away downloading the app. Just give them a second. We've got to. Yeah. Are you okay now at the back? Yeah, right. Yeah, they've got the app now. We can go. So we've got 3 minutes to vote from now. I'm not going to talk while you do this because I know multitasking is difficult. You have 1 minute left, so if you're teetering on the edge, don't teeter for much longer. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. That should be the votes in from everybody. Just before we break for lunch, I'd like to do a few things for you. First and foremost, just somebody dropped their driver's license in the bathroom, so you may wish to come and claim that, if that's all right. It says Adrian Watson.
What a prize.
Okay, we'll leave that there. Second, don't forget that putting the message out on social media is very important. And if you're interested in doing that, then there are lots of these helpful props at the back for doing your selfies and your tweets and your Twitters and your Facebook feeds. You can get those out. You also can speak to our people after the event. In a moment we will break for lunch, and then we will reconvene after lunch at approximately, not approximately, precisely 1:55 to hear the winners. And those will be announced by His Royal Highness. And finally, that is everything from us today. Can I thank you all for participating? And the most important thing is, can we give a big round of applause to all the participants? It takes guts to stand up. And finally, can we thank His Royal Highness for creating such an event as this. These things are tremendously important for all would-be entrepreneurs, and they do make a significant difference, and I know that. So can we thank him again and his team for organising this and allowing us.
Whilst lunch is going on, don't forget that entrepreneurs get these people up at the front here.